We built a competitive Trazyn the Infinite deck on a budget.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, Beezy, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds. We got new videos every day, and we got a big fat wall of text that's our patrons, and you can join them in the description, and if you do, we'll love you as much as we can without making you uncomfortable.
Yes, Patreon is a way to support this channel directly by giving us money, and we need money to make this channel even better. If you would like to support us indirectly, you can go to IntoTheAM using our link in the description, or on this little banner down here, you can see it, yeah. You can get these cool swaggy shirts.
And save 10% using our link. Also, we're sponsored by Moxfield. There's an ad coming up. You're not going to be able to guess where it is, but if you guess, you will get nothing.
But you will be told that you cheated.
Right.
So just know that you will be called a cheater for getting it correct. And happy birthday to everybody whose birthday is today. Today is a Commander tune-up. But usually for Commander tune-ups, what we do is we have a deck sent in to us, and we upgrade it under their restrictions. Today we were given something a little different. I was said take the pre-con, Necron
Dynasties.
Necron Dynasties, put Trazyn as the commander, and then upgrade it. And I said I can do that, but it's going to be like 60 changes because Trazyn doesn't actually go with the deck at all, and it really doesn't do that. So what I did is I said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Trazyn, and I'm going to build a brand new deck with a $400 budget. But any card in the Necron Dynasty precons will not count toward that budget.
Yeah, usually with Commander tune-ups, we're taking a patron-submitted deck and just upgrading it. We're just building basically a whole new deck at $400 budget, plus the Necron Dynasty's precon cards are free because I think they already have that deck.
Yes, exactly. So let's read the commander, Trazyn the Infinite, so we can see what this deck is trying to do. 4 black for a 4/4 legendary creature. He has Death Touch, which could not be less relevant. As long as Trazyn the Infinite is on the battlefield, he has all activated abilities of all artifacts in your graveyard.
This card is super strong if you can stick it, so the game plan for this deck is to fill the graveyard with key combo pieces and deploy Trazyn with haste as fast as humanly possible, or robotically possible.
Yes, and I want to say something that Trazyn is not a fair commander. It is not something you can really build in a fair, or for lack of a better term, fun way. It's going to combo off. It's going to just absolutely be a must kill every time you see it, and that's how this deck it has to be. That's how you make Trazyn.
So let's just juice it up as much as we can with the $400 budget, which I thought was a fun little challenge because you can't include Mana Crypt, you can't include Mishra's Workshop in this deck.
Yes, so let's just hop right into it. We have some key artifacts. The keys to comboing here is mostly what we're looking for here. First, you start with making a bunch of mana. You want, if he taps for mana, if we have ways to untap him, which we'll get to, then we can go infinite. So the ones that make 3 are all going to be very, very good here. So we have Mana Volt, obviously.
We splurged for that one.
We did. We splurged. I think it's worth it in this deck. Mana Volt, awesome. Basalt Monolith, Basalt Monolith brings a Bite Hearth. Another combo this deck just has access to because we have ways to pay off infinite mana within the deck.
Basalt Monolith both makes 3 mana and is a way to untap Trazyn for potentially other combos.
Yes, which is actually coming up. Scepter of Eternal Glory. If we have 3 swamps, this deck has 25 in the list. It taps for 3 mana, going to be a combo piece. Gilded Lotus just taps for 3 mana, and Chromatic Orrery taps for 5 mana. The thing about this one that's really cool is if you make the infinite mana, it's the payoff too. It'll draw your whole deck.
Yeah, because you have infinite mana in your pool, then you can still untap Trazyn, and then use his other ability to use 5 of your infinite mana to draw 1 card.
Yeah, and if you have Basalt Monolith and Chromatic Orrery in your graveyard, that's the infinite combo. Make 5 mana, untap for 3. That'll be infinite mana.
Bingo, and there's other creatures that do it, and there's other ways to untap. These are the main ones. Pilipala untaps to make a mana, so you can tap anything for 2 mana or more, and then use Pilipala/Trazyn to untap himself to make another mana. Now you're up mana, and you just go off. Farmstead Gleaner costs 2 to untap. It has other words. Who cares what they are? That's infinite mana. Staff of Domination is a way to untap, and then it just draws your entire deck, because that's the payoff of the card. And then Voltaic Construct just says 2, untap it. It's the crappiest card in the world, but we have plenty of ways to get into our graveyard.
Yeah, and most of these require, we just went over all those things that make at least 3. Most of them require 3. Pilipala has other combos because we have within this deck
Palladium Mirror
and Pilipala in your graveyard will be infinite colored mana. That's something that you can't get other places. Pilipala is a strong and unique card to this deck.
And these next little chunk of cards are ways to actually win the game once you have infinite mana or infinite untaps.
Yeah, so first one is the simplest one, and the one you're going to go to almost every time you can. It's Walking Ballista. It's obviously an amazing card. It'll have the ability to put counters on itself and the ability to remove counters from itself to ping.
Yeah, Golem Artisan can give haste to Trazyn. It's a card you want in the graveyard so badly. But once you have infinite mana, you can pump all your artifact creatures infinitely with trample and haste, so they're going to just be able to close out the game. And one of my favorites, Tezzeret's Simulacrum, the last card added to the deck. It's the crappiest little 3-mana 2/3, and it taps to make an opponent lose a life.
Which is absolutely hilarious.
I would much rather kill somebody with a Tezzeret's Simulacrum, because they're going to have to read it.
All right, we need to enable ourselves to combo, and something super important to this deck, like 100%, is giving our commander haste. The thing is, this thing can combo really easily, but it's 6 mana, and it doesn't have haste usually. So Lightning Greaves, great way to do that. Obviously, the 2-mana artifact, pay 0, put it on, and then go off from there.
I think the best way, though, is Hall of the Bandit Lord. Definitely splurge a little on this one. It's a land. They're not going to be able to interact with it. You're just going to be able to tutor for it. This deck has probably, despite being casual, or not casual, budget, it's got like 5 or 6 tutors in it. It's 4 to 5 tutors. So we're going to be able to find it, play it, and then they're going to go, I don't know what to do about that. And then we just give it haste, and then we win, and they don't even know what hit them.
And super important also is that this deck, because we're in mono black, it's tough for us to interact.
It's like impossible.
Yeah, on a level, we don't need to remove creatures. That's not really what we have. A few ways to do that, but our main goal is like protect what we're doing, protect our combo. One of the best ones, defense grid. People casting on your turn, spells cost way more.
Yeah, they're like not going to be able to cast spells. Conqueror's Flail is kind of crappy, but I think it's worth it. We're going to equip it on some other creature, like a Dark Confidant or whatever we have in play. Maybe Palladium Mirrors just in play. We're going to equip it to that, and then maybe next turn when we untap, if they haven't answered our crappy creature, we can win the game without any interaction.
Yeah, exactly. Conqueror's, like you said, it's not the best card, but this deck needs it. We have to make sure people can't interact with our combo because we're going to be going all in. This is what this deck is doing. Let's get that combo.
How many times can we spend 6 mana on nothing? Probably once, and then we do it again, we lose.
It's not very not very often.
If we cast Trazyn and he dies twice, I think you lose. But this deck is designed to hopefully just cast him once.
Cast him once and win. Crypto Thrall is from the Precon, and it gives our artifact creatures hexproof. It's not the best, but it fit really well in the budget, which was this cost us nothing, and it will protect our commander from spot removal.
Yep, and lastly, Necrotic Ooze is some redundancy. We've got Pilipala and Palladium Mirror that can go infinite. We have Walking Ballista and Phyrexian Devour also in the deck that can go infinite. So this is like a backup that we can tutor for if Trazyn somehow is not going to happen.
Actually, Phyrexian Devour and Walking Ballista isn't infinite.
It's not infinite. It just wins.
Yeah, it just wins. You're absolutely right. And next, we have to move on to the next category, and it's Moxfield.com.
How we built this deck?
Yes, the best deck building website out there. Literally, that's how we built this whole entire deck. We were on Moxfield.com, putting cards in, taking cards out. You can see the price. You can change everything to the cheapest version of the cards, and just it makes deck building so easy. Like, this did not take us long because we put all the cards in, and then we're like, okay, I can just hover over the card, see the price right there. What does it cost? Oh, this is $60. Get out of my deck. That's too much for this deck.
Yeah, we originally, when we just put the deck together, we're like, let's just put it together, see what we get. It's like $600. But now we can sort the cards by price and go, oh, the ones in the bottom right corner are now the most expensive. I'm going to cut Entomb for Vile Entomber because it's like we're going to save $32. It's just so much easier to see what you're actually doing. Moxfield really helped this deck, and they deserve their shout out today.
We love you, Moxfield.
And every day.
Chef's kiss to you.
So we've got the combos. We've got the speedy haste enablers for Trazyn, but we got to actually get these cards in the graveyard. We can't just have Pilipala in play. It's not going to do anything. So we got to fill the graveyard with things like Stitcher Supplier, pretty much the cheapest 1 mana way to mill that's like somewhat efficient. It's just 1 mana for 6 cards eventually. Milliken taps for mana and mills, which is interesting because if we for some reason have infinite mana with Trazyn but no payoff, we can then use his Milliken ability to mill our whole deck and then find the payoff.
Yeah, exactly. Which is super cool. It's a little extra oomph that this deck. Unmarked Grave, it's going to put our best card in our graveyard. All the cards we want aren't legendary, so whatever part of the combo you need, throw it into the graveyard. The enabler, the payoff, whatever part you're looking for, that'll get in the graveyard. One of the best cards in this deck, period. Buried Alive, this card just wins. If your commander's out and you cast Buried Alive, it resolves, game's over. I mean, obviously they can move your commander, but game is most likely over because they didn't interact up to this point because you put Pilipala, Palladium Mirror, and Walking Ballista into your graveyard, the game's over.
You make infinite mana, and then you put infinite counters on it, and you deal infinite damage. Or, let's say they Praetor's Grasp your Walking Ballista. Well, then we're going to go get Tezzeret's Simulacrum.
Oh, baby. What a replacement that is.
Yeah, what a 1-for-1 direct replacement. We also have Vile Entomber. I just mentioned it. Normally we would play Entomb. that's $32. We can't. Here's Violent Tumor. It's like 4 cents.
Exactly, yeah. Put it the best, again, just like on my grave, put the best card that we need. Whatever piece of the combo we're missing, put it in the graveyard.
Yeah, but what if we have one of these crappy cards in our hand? Because we really don't want to cast, like, at least 10% of the cards in this deck.
Yeah, so we have Putrid in first, which is just the cheapest, most efficient way to just discard colon. It does nothing.
Who cares? Yeah,
It
discard
doesn't-
colon.
Yes, that's the most efficient way. But the best way in the deck is actually Patchwork Gnomes. Works really well with what this deck is trying to do because it is an artifact with an ability that protects our commander, but on top of that, it also just discards to put cards into our graveyard.
Yeah, it's really like everything you want. And then Scourge Familiar has potential to be off the chain with some of the cards. I know we have Peer into the Abyss in this deck, but Scourge Familiar discards card to make a black. That could be like we can almost play nothing. Scourge Familiar on turn 5 and then win on turn 6.
Yeah, and one of our few pieces of interactions, I mentioned we don't want to kill too many creatures, but obviously
Kill some.
sometimes you need to interact. So lethal schemes will let us convoke our creatures so we can just kill something and then draw a discard, which is going to be very helpful.
Yeah, I have Chromatic Orrery and Pilipala in my hand. Well, I can kill a creature by tapping 4 creatures and just spending nothing on it. And then, I get to discard my Pilipala and my Chromatic Orrery. Sweet.
Yeah, we don't want those cards in our hand ever.
So the last piece, we're putting everything together. We have almost everything going. We just got to do this before turn 100. So we need mana generation, and we need it fast.
Yes, very, very important to this deck. Obviously, Soul Ring's in here. It's only $1. When we're given a $400 budget, there's no way Soul Ring's not making the cut when we're being this competitive.
Yeah, I also like Jeweled Amulet, especially on a budget when you're trying to make fast mana. It kind of is 1 mana rock, but it stores up so you can only use it every other turn. I think we're going to need it in this deck. We're going to play it on turn 1, and then it's going to boost us to, instead of comboing on turn 6, it's now turn 5. And in combination with Soul Ring, and we mentioned Mana Vault, we're gonna get some quick starts.
Yeah, exactly. If you go Soul Ring into something like Helm of Awakening, it's going to be really strong because now you can cast a lot of your undercost artifacts, get a ton of stuff out, and then if you untap after that, you're just going to pop off because everything costs 1 less for, even though it's everybody, you're going to take advantage of it more.
Yeah, plus we have Foundry Inspector and Joyrus Familiar, which are going to reduce both Trazyn's mana value and the mana value of, I think, 39 cards in our deck. And we have Heartless Summoning, which is so sweet because it interacts poorly with, I think, 1 card or 2 cards in this whole deck, like Dark Confidant and Putrid Imp, and everything else is like complete gravy. Even some of the crappy cards like, Mere Retriever dies right away. Great. It dies right away. We'll get back an artifact that we need for 0.
Yeah, exactly. This card is, like you said, it doesn't have much negative interaction, and we just need to get our commander out sooner. It cannot be sitting there. We can't wait till turn 6 to cast this. We will not win.
Yeah. Also, with these cost reducers like Foundry Inspector and Joyous Familiar and Helm of Awakening, we can use other combos that don't even revolve around Trazyn, like Sensei's Divining Top and Mystic Forge, which is just going to let us draw our entire decks, and then we can make infinite mana, probably with Basalt, Monolith, and Rings. It's just from our hand. We don't even need Trazyn.
Yeah, exactly. Trazyn is going to be the go-to. It's plan A every single game, but there is just a ton of backup combos in here and tutors to go find those combos.
Yeah.
We also have rituals. We want to make tons of mana with our rituals. Dark Ritual, obviously a go-to staple of like higher power commander. Cabal Ritual, going to be great in this deck. We're filling our graveyard as it is. This just makes a ton of mana when you go off. Coin the Week, we can sack one of our useless creatures like the mirror you just mentioned.
Yeah, or like Citrus Supplier, make 4 black. We're like halfway there. We're almost comboing just with this card.
Yeah, exactly. Bubbling Muck, which is actually the reason we're playing 25 Swamps. It's, what is it?
It's High Tide for Swamps.
High Tide.
And, we have 26 Swamps, by the way.
High Tide for Swamps. So, yeah, I was estimating. But, yeah, we have 26 Swamps. This, obviously, Bubbling Muck's going to be ridiculous when we do it because most of our lands is going to be swamp, 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 swamp.
And then we just have, it's just rituals for 4 mana. Soul Devi Adnate is like a weird one-time Quark Clan Ironworks, which is also in the deck that makes black. I think this card's cool. It's kind of like you put 2 mana into it and you charge up 3 or 4 for the turn we're going to combo off. And obviously, I just mentioned Quark Clan Ironworks. When you play Trazyn, all you really need is Quark Clan because that's going to give all the extra mana you need to initiate whatever combo you want.
There are also loops with Quark Clan Ironworks, Scrap Trawler, and Mirror Retriever. There's also loops with that. That's another way to go infinite and potentially win the game.
There's just so many. People have to kill this deck real quick. And lastly, we put Cabal Stronghold and Cabal Coffers in here. We got 26 Swamps. They're not the fastest cards in the universe, but we're going to need the mana generation. These 2 cards are some of the only ways I think they're going to be able to cast Trazyn more than twice if the game goes late. And there's not much of a downside to playing them.
Yeah, and we also added Crystal Vein, just another ritual, right?
Yeah, it's a ritual land. It's like, hey, great. You have this land. I don't need it. Give me Trazyn as soon as possible. So this deck seems pretty juiced, considering it's only $400, and 62 of it is Mana Vault.
Yeah, I would say that this deck, my goal would just be to juice it. I think that you can spend a reasonable. You don't have to go too crazy. Like you're gonna want Mana Crypt.
Jewel Lotus.
There's Jewel Lotus. There's gonna be very expensive cards you want to add to this. But I think if you spend let's double your budget to 800, which is a lot. I'm not saying that you should double, but if you do, you can make this deck probably as good as it can be.
Like a turn 3 deck.
This deck is already ridiculous. And if you add that extra oomph, it's going to be even more ridiculous.
Yeah, and we've done another tune-up. It's a challenge, sort of. We're kind of wondering how big we can make the Mimeoplasm. And if you want to know how big we can make it, the video's right here, and you can watch it right now.
Peace out, Tribe Scout.